Alrighty, are we live? Let's see. Let's see if we are indeed live. Alrighty, there's my face. Hello, and thank you for joining me. I am Sigrún with the Universal Pagan Temple, and we're going to be having a lot of fun tonight, a lot of laughs. And I hope everybody had a great winter solstice and a great Yule if you observe Yule on the winter solstice. But if you don't observe Yule on the winter solstice and you observe it on in January, the more traditional time, then happy almost Yule. But we are in Yule season anyway, but we're going to have a lot of fun this evening. And I'm going to be talking about TPUSA, Turning Point USA, and their whole shenanigans this past weekend. And it's going to be very fun. And hopefully here I don't get copyright striked, but we are going to take a look at the true meaning of TP. The true meaning of TPUSA.
Excuse me, young brother. May we ask you a question?
Are you threatening me? My bunghole will ask the questions. Why do I not use teepee for my peepee?
The beloved always did like riddles.
You will beloved my bunghole. For I am the great cornholio. I need teepee for my bunghole.
Look.
Alrighty, so what does that tell you? TP for my bunghole. What does that tell you? That is where TPUSA comes from. It comes from Turning Point USA. And that is exactly what they meant. And it's kind of funny that I've never seen that clip from that episode before. I used to watch a lot of Beavis and Butthead in the 90s. But yeah, the whole TP, it's got to be an inside joke. How long's the stream been on? Oh, only a few minutes. We're just getting into it now. So a lot of the things that happened, I'm going to be talking about like at least 4 different things that happened at the TP for My Bunghole USA event, the AmericaFest, and Nicki Minaj. Apparently, she is a well thought of Christian lady now. Yeah, exactly. She's a good Christian lady. And I'm just gonna make sure I can see chat here, just in case. And let me know if the audio's all screwball, and I can most definitely fix it if need be. And I'm trying to be better with the audio shenanigans. Sure, it's a crap fest, yes. There's a subreddit called Our Toilet Paper USA that's just riffing on TPUSA. Oh boy. Oh, you mean the swallowing? Oh gosh. Yes. So let me make sure that this is gonna be. I'm just making sure I can see the chat at the same time. I should upgrade to 2 monitors or something. Alrighty. So the WWE opening here. Yes, there's the grieving widow in the gold shirt and the white slacks there, and freaking Nicki Minaj. Of all the people that could be considered conservative, Nicki Minaj, yeah, her husband apparently raped a 16-year-old, so yeah, I guess the bar's pretty low. They're, wanting as many faces for this conservative movement. It's not necessarily conservative movement, it's more the Zionist movement, these Christian Zionists that they want more Christian Zionists in to promote their ideals, their 7 Mountains mandate to make America a Christian nation, which is both goofy and ridiculous. Yes, her grief is inspiring. Oh gosh. And I don't expect her to be the typical, what would you say, grieving widow of the Victorian era. You know, you got to wear black for a certain number of years, and you have to wear like hair jewelry of your deceased loved ones. I'm not expecting that, but somebody pointed out earlier that Sharon Osbourne, you know, Ozzy Osbourne's wife, wasn't out in public until like late November. She was actually grieving. And say what you will about some of Ozzy's recent political views, but yeah, he definitely, I'm an Ozzy fan, so Black Sabbath fan, and Sharon Osbourne was a, you know, a devout wife to him. Let's see here. Yeah, you can't separate Christianity from Zionism. It's like a drug for them. Truly. Yes. Oh, you're sure JD is helping her get over it? I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all grieve differently. Some shut down and cry. Others burst out the pyrotechnics. Exactly. Yeah, the WWE match. You know, you think that these gals are going to be in the Royal Rumble or something like that. I mean, I watched a fair number of WWE fights back in the late 90s when The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and even Mankind and China. Remember China? Yeah, she'd fit right in there. But I think China actually had more class than these two gals. She could actually play the cello. Yeah, so let's get back into it. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Christianity and Islam's two sides of the same coin. Yes, they are. Yeah, I call Islam Christianity's evil little brother. Yeah, Ozzy is the king of metal. Yeah, I mean, everybody around me was just in tears all day long, including, yeah, I was nearly in tears. It was just made me very sad. Okay, but let's get into it. Because this one's actually very telling. This video here is Charlie Kirk saying about Nicki Minaj. That's all the way back.
Minaj, Cardi B.
Okay, Nicki Minaj is causing dads to leave the home.
Hold on a second. I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old black girls. I don't. I don't think that songs that are talking Minaj.
You see, Erika, your husband, your late husband, wouldn't have wanted Nicki Minaj on. And I know they're saying, oh, Nicki Minaj has changed. No, you don't change from that sort of behavior. And this is what I've always said, is that these people that have been, you know, a really bad individual, like say that they're addicted to drugs, alcohol, they're thieves, they've got, you know, so many arrest records out there, and they say that they've converted to Christianity and they're all about Jesus now. They'll say, oh, I was high on the Lord previously, now I'm high on they would say, I was high on drugs prior, now I'm high on the Lord or on Jesus. Well, no, you just switched one addiction for the other. And I think Minaj here is switching one for the other, but she may be doing kind of like a PR stunt. Yes. Did they have Nala Ray there too? I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, what strange times. Yeah, this is seriously strange. I would not have expected this 20 years ago from the Republican Party, although 20 years ago it was, you know, obviously Bush and the neocons, still Zionists. His hair looks great in this, I'm serious. Oh gosh, there's this app to learn languages. I think it's called Drops, like a drop of water. And they have like these characters, and the male character on there, and it's kind of like clip art. He has the same haircut as Charlie Kirk. And every time my husband and I are studying Norwegian, we flip between Drops and Duolingo. we go to drops and we say, oh look, there's Charlie Kirk. Right, yeah. Yeah, Sharon Osbourne was definitely connected. Ozzy wouldn't have, I don't think Ozzy would have been as big as he was without Sharon. She was definitely instrumental in all that. But yeah, as far as all that goes, yeah, Nicki Minaj and her background, and you know, she's had a very shady background. For her to just suddenly flip to, oh, I'm Christian now, and I don't want to see these people that don't want us to be Christian in office. That's what she's saying. Let's see if I can pull that up. Excuse me. I don't think I've got it. Sorry, y'all are getting a preview. I was a little disorganized just before coming on. Oh, yes, the slip of the tongue. The slip of the tongue here. Now, there were a lot of Freudian slips between Erika Kirk and Nicki Minaj. Now, Erika Kirk, she let a slip of the tongue come out of this young man she brought out on stage, and she says, oh, he's incredibly gifted. She meant to say gifted, but she ended up saying grifter. And there's a lot of these grifters out there that TPUSA is putting out there for their Zionist cause. Yeah, she's doing the Russell Brand move, exactly. But let's watch this one.
For young men.
And for young men, don't be new scum. Yes, see, dear young men, you have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president.
Yeah, be a super Zionist and sell out your people. Oh yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, Sharon. Mm-hmm.
And you have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance.
The assassin J.D. Vance. You don't flub something like that. That was coordinated, or that was pre-planned. I'm not necessarily thinking that was a Freudian slip, because, you know, I will misspeak sometimes, and I know what that is, know what it feels like, know how to identify it, but you notice her, the way she speaks. She meant to say that, but then she kind of pretends like she didn't actually say it.
Vice president. And when I say that,
This seems really staged.
Trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine.
That was actually an organic response from her. But yeah, and then here is the more telling bit that I was just talking about. But here, let's see here. Damn, Minaj sounds like she smoked a pack of cigs before filming. Well, she sounds drunk. I think that's just her normal voice, though. To be honest, I've heard her talk before, and that's how she talks, so. Or maybe I've just never heard her sober.
Leave as a legacy in this world for your family, for your baby, for just everything.
well, that it's okay to change your mind.
Her voice is like nails on a chalkboard. Both of their voices are like nails on a chalkboard to me. But there's somebody I'm going to be showing later on in this stream. one of the pastors of TPUSA, the one that wrote Pagan Threat, Lucas Miles, his voice is like nails on a chalkboard to me. You might see me get a little bit agitated with him.
Yeah. It's okay to change your mind. You don't have to, you know, sometimes there's a lot of things projected onto you when you change your own mind. You know,
You've just changed, like, part of your mind. You haven't changed your entire self yet. You're still yourself. You're not going to be somebody different just because you're worshiping Jesus. No, you actually have to make it from the ground up. You know, esoterically, all your chakras, you know, once you... Because Christianity is very low vibration. When you're pagan, you know, your vibrations automatically go up. Usually I can identify somebody that's pagan without looking at their jewelry because I could just tell their vibrations, their energy is higher. They're not low to the ground like Christians and other mundanes are.
project fear, shame onto people who don't think and do as they think and do. But I've traveled the world. I've performed for huge crowds all around the world. And no matter how many songs I do on that stage, it didn't mean as much as this. Because this is a direct link for younger people. This is a direct link between young people and God. And there's been...
Ooh, clap, clap, clap. She mentioned God. But then there's going to be Christians out there that are going to say, well, she didn't say Jesus.
There's been a lack of that. There's been a lack of that in our media, in our everyday conversations. People have been, you know, interestingly enough, people have been Christians have been being persecuted right here in our country in different ways. So when
the Christian persecution complex is something that has to be studied. Because Christians, they get the 503c nearly handed to them. It's so easy for them. They have churches in every city, every town. You're never that far away. The law is on your side. So for me as a pagan, hearing, oh, we Christians are persecuted, and I've heard it from just right here, this woman. I've heard it from people in person, people I've worked with, and I just kind of look at them, and you have never gotten a threatening phone call or a message, had somebody come up to you and threaten you. Yeah, so for Christians to say, oh, we've been persecuted? No, y'all have not. You have not been persecuted in this country. You guys have a cakewalk of a time here in America, and whatever you think is persecution, you've got it on easy mode. I mean, try being a pagan. There's what I had that one post on X a couple of months ago where it broke like, I think, 3 million views. And it was just a simple, silly cat post. Okay. But I got a bunch of threats from that. Just a simple little post about the pagan gods, and it was silly. I found it on, what did I find it on? Instagram. And I was actually in between sets at the gym. And I posted it, and I thought it was cute, but then it blew up. Let's check comments here right now. Oh, she's pausing to hear her handlers. True, she could be wearing a mic in her ear or something. Her hair's long enough to cover that. She has the IQ of the common houseplant. Hey, now some houseplants are really nice, and they actually, produce oxygen in the house. They show up at any pagan function and events and throw shit fits because they're the persecuted ones. Exactly. My houseplant is offended. Oh, you're fine. About the typos, I'm pretty much, I've never been diagnosed with dyslexia, but I'm sure if I was ever officially diagnosed, I would come across as one, and I can just read them just easy. But anyway, let's get back to her, what her handlers have to tell her.
When we talk about Nigeria and other countries, know that prior administrations saw nothing wrong with that. And that's what was wrong with them.
Unfortunately, that's been going on for a long time, especially in Africa and other parts of the world. And it's not isolated to Christians, but it is kind of isolated to the Abrahamic faiths going after each other. And especially if you're not the right type of Christian, or if you're not the right type of Muslim, other Muslims and other Christians will go after you. And any Christian that wants to come into my comments section and say that all Christians are the same, well, no, that Christian will also say, oh, well, not Catholics, not Mormons, they're not Christian. The silliness.
I truly feel that there are people out there who felt good about chastising Christians right here in our country.
You know why they felt good about chastising Christians? Is because Christians go around chastising others when they didn't even ask for it, unprovoked. A Christian will chastise you even if they don't know that you're not a Christian. They'll just come after you. And as a woman, I've noticed it quite a bit from Christian women, that they will just, pick you apart if they sense any sort of weakness in you, and they'll use scripture as an excuse. Yeah.
And it's kind of really, really sick. We can't let people like that be in power, you guys. That's the truth. I can sugarcoat it and laugh and kiki, but the truth is, I am here today to tell you guys that. We absolutely cannot let people who have a problem with us worshiping God, we cannot have them in power.
Yeah, and that's why TP for my bunghole USA is writing books like Pagan Threat, because they feel just the slightest bit of threat from pagans. It doesn't have to be anything big or major. No. If something else exists, Christians panic, because they know that their beliefs really don't hold a lot of water compared to other beliefs. And they know deep down inside how shitty they actually are.
We cannot have them in power. All you have to do is look at what is happening in other places in the world. Look at what is being done to Christians all around the world.
Well, look at what Christians have done to people all around the world. You just have to look. It doesn't take that long. Let's see, check out the comments here. I feel left out. Christians never come after me or start shit with me because I'm also true. Well, you could get it eventually, so your time will come. Right, yeah, you're not missing much. Yeah, in person. Yeah, all you need to just wear is a Mjolnir out in a conservative area, and I'm sure you'll get one.
And ask yourself why people in this country that were in positions of power felt so comfortable to try to take our voices from us. They were that afraid. They are that intimidated. They are that insecure. They are that small inside that hearing us and seeing us worship God irritated them.
Yeah, a Christian sees a pagan, it irritates them. Just pagans just doing anything, or any other religion for that matter.
Our spirit irritates them because when we speak, they get shown up. When the truth walks in the room, the lies hide.
Because a lot of people have already understood and found out the lies of Christianity, and so when a Christian comes in the room and starts spouting off their bullshit, everybody else is going to call them out on it, because enough people have experienced Christianity and know how to call it out. You know, either if you've read the Bible a couple of times cover to cover, or if you've experienced Christianity as a child and you've got some evidence to back up the horribleness of Christianity. Yeah, the Christian bullshit, the so-called truth, isn't gonna fly.
They don't come out willingly. You gotta pry it out of them. They hide.
Well, yeah, you know why some people hide from the whole Christian thing? Because they're afraid of a Christian mob coming after them.
Because they don't want you or anyone to know who they really are behind closed doors. Because even they know how evil it is to try to deprive people of worshiping God.
The projection. The projection. Okay, let's see here. Understand when you are proud of your faith, there's nothing Christians can do to you, at least in America. They can legally do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got to keep receipts, and keep in mind who you're talking to, and make sure that when you go to the authorities, you know, you call police, you let them know exactly what's going on, you keep the receipts. Whether it's a voicemail, because they do like to leave voicemails. We've had that in the past, and we've shared it with the police in the past. Or if it's an online message, yeah, keep the receipts. Let's see here. And then I'm going to talk about the whole Candace Owens thing, just briefly, because Ben Shapiro took his time. And I'm not going to play this whole video with Ben Shapiro and this Joel Berry guy. I've already gone after him once before in a video. And he's been after me a couple of times in the comment sections on X. But, yeah, Candace Owens returning fire on Ben Shapiro, and nobody, conservative, Republican, liberal, Democrat, nobody likes Ben Shapiro. Let's see these comments.
With it. This one is so fully off of the mother effing plantation. Truly, Ben Shapiro, fuck you and the midget horse that you rode in on. And I say that on behalf of the world.
I'm not Candace Owens' biggest fan. The whole drama between her and other creators is actually kind of getting old. But hearing her say that was very entertaining. And I hope she does continue to tear apart TPUSA, even though I don't agree with her spiritually, and some of her theories are just kind of falling apart there. But yeah, she used to work for Ben Shapiro, so she would know best.
I know. You're going to get applauded by Konstantin Kisin and Andrew Christ is King Clavin and all of the people, the men, who have to keep applauding what you do like you're a 4-year-old to make you feel good. But the rest of the world can't stand you. You're obnoxious. You have absolutely no values that exist outside of the Talmud. You describe yourself as a Talmudic Jew, and I've learned what's in that Talmud, and I encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that you know what Ben thinks of you, because he doesn't just hate me, he hates you too, white men. He hates all Black people, okay? If he's following the rules of the Talmud, I mean, when I say hates, they think that we're animals, that they have a right to own.
Yes, I do wish she would leave the Abrahamic cult as well. I feel like out of all the conservative commenters and personalities, her dream about Charlie Kirk, where Charlie Kirk says, "I was betrayed," I felt like that was genuine, and it shows that she actually has a connection to her intuition. She wouldn't just say that because she got a lot of criticism for that. I mean, people just came after her for that. But as a pagan and a witch, I accept that dream. I accept that she had that dream and it actually meant something. It's not just a part of her, overthinking. No, it was actually Charlie Kirk reaching out to her in spirit. And that will happen. And she has the strongest chance of, she probably won't, but she has the strongest connection to her intuition, so she actually has a chance of becoming a pagan. But I highly doubt that that would ever happen, because that wouldn't be good for her image. She's got that big crucifix in the background, for goodness sake. So she's not going to. Oh gosh, yeah, the Talmud is crazy. Yes. I don't even feel like I could get into it on stream without maybe getting in trouble. But let's get back into it.
Us, that they have a right to make us worship them, that they have a right to lie to us, that they have a right to sue us and take everything that we have, that they have a right to deceive us, that they have a right to treat Charlie the way that he treated Charlie while he was alive, only to then try to defraud the population into thinking that he is...
Yeah, that last interview that Charlie did with Ben Shapiro, that was creepy.
Somehow a part of his legacy, that he somehow cared about Charlie Kirk and cares to protect the people that are working at Turning Point USA. Goodbye, Ben. Goodbye. Question is, how much more money is Ben Shapiro going to spend to make people think that he's popular? How many more articles is his father going to write under a pen name, Hank Berrien of the Daily Wire, under the pen name Hank Berrien, as he wrote while Ben was at Breitbart, before he turned his back and betrayed them too, because that is his nature. One of these belly creatures, sliver on. Question is, how...
Hold on. What is Ben Shapiro's sun sign? Let's see here. Oh, he's a Capricorn. Okay. Yeah, he is money-minded. Okay. That makes sense.
Many more weeks and years do we have to keep pretending like Ben Shapiro is relevant?
Alrighty. But yeah, as far as that goes, Candace, yeah, she's right to call him out. And she knows him better than a lot of people do because she used to work for him. Yeah, Candace, come home, leave the lies. Yeah, paganism is for everybody. I mean, anybody can connect to their ancestral deities, to, rate success, and feel more connected to their intuition. And it's a wonderful feeling. But now's the time where I'm going to go over the TPUSA, TP for my bunghole, faith pastors. And this first one, he's crazy. This redheaded guy.
And 2 Corinthians 5:10 says that every human being is going to stand before God and be held accountable for every action, whether good or bad. No one can run away from the things that they've done. No one can. I mean, think about your biggest mistakes. You can't run. And if you've been set free by the blood of Jesus and
you can't run. But I thought Christianity was all about forgiveness these days.
received this beautiful gift from God, and you just want to gatekeep it? No! In fact, that's the most selfish thing I could do is gatekeep the love of God. I don't want to do that. I have been...
Well, no, Christians aren't gatekeeping their God, not at all. No, they're forcing the God on you. If anything, pagans are gatekeeping our gods. In certain, traditions, we do gatekeep. Let's see here. It also says not to eat shrimp. Chill, bro. You know that shrimp are actually closely related to cockroaches? Yeah. Gross. His masculinity is making me feel inferior. I know. Yes, the look at all those muscles there and that hairdo. Methin for the Lord. This guy has found a way to make a mega church without owning one. He just uses YouTube. Let's see. This guy looks like he beats women and calls it a prank. Ooh. He looks like he just does a lot of amphetamines, to be honest. This amount of energy kind of feels unnatural to me. Yeah, let's keep going.
Radically changed. My stone heart ripped out of my body and been given this new life. And if anything, I want everyone to experience this same Jesus.
I wonder if this guy talks like this all the time. There's no way is he some sort of theater kid? And we got more of him. We've got more of
I don't want to be a passive Christian. And in fact, if there's anything Charlie stood for, it's to be the total opposite of a passive Christian. It's actually, I'm going to stand in the face of adversity because I'm willing to see people know Jesus, because that's more important than experiencing the wounding words of people, the opinions of man. Because there is a God. I don't want to be...
What is this guy on? What does he take in the morning to achieve this type of energy? Oh, all these TV preachers sound like my father trying to shove the Christian God pill down my throat. He would get fanatical when he tried to preach to us. Yeah. Theater kid pastor. Yes, exactly. He found the special snow in his pocket before going on stage. Oh, every time I hear Ben Shapiro's name, I always think about that clip where he's encouraging people to go to church. And that even though he's Jewish, he thinks people going to church is a good thing. Yeah, exactly, because if they go to church, he wants it to be a Zionist Christian church, so people will feel more inclined to support Israel for, the Christian Zionist end goal and the Zionist end goal. Let's see here. Bro is crying over these desert fairy tales, yes. Yes. Oh, the crash for him must be brutal. What if it's all just those white monster? That's like a cult now. It's like these guys that just absolutely love white monster. And I've just... No, Mountain Dew for me and a coffee in the morning. But here he is. My arch nemesis. I wouldn't call him my arch nemesis, but his book did give me a couple of headaches. And if you've read his book, Pagan Threat, by Pastor Lucas Miles, and he's the head of TPUSA Faith now. And so that's the whole Seven Mountains Mandate, and I've got a video about his book where I've got actually 3 videos, and it was a painful read. And this guy, he Turning Point USA is anti-pagan. Let's just call it what it is right now. But we're going to see what he has to say, and I might get really agitated, or I might be able to control myself. We'll see. White Monster is okay, but I like the coffee mocha ones. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay.
Charlie and I talked a lot about the idea that the church should be the conscience of the state. The church, we don't want the church running the state as in some sort of dictatorial position.
Bullshit. Yes, you do.
We actually fled from a nation for that reason, but we want there to be this groundswell of revival where the people are able to remind those in positions of power of what a righteous standard looks like, and that our laws begin to reflect the righteousness of God, which will...
So you do want a Christian theocracy. You're just trying to find every type of workaround you can. You just want the nation full of Christians for this.
Will shape a nation.
Should pagans make a response to the book? Oh yeah, I did. I did a couple of videos on it earlier, a couple months ago, where I roast it. And sometimes I think maybe I should write a book called Christian Threat, but then I might get a lot of pitchforks and torches. His ears look weird, of course. Yes. Don't listen to Truth Radio on WNRI. That'll really get you agitated, trust me. Oh. Right, yeah, exactly.
That I believe...
Okay, let's...
See, we have a tool within Christianity that I believe is a resource that the conservative movement doesn't have as much experience with.
Annoying the crap out of people? No, y'all have been doing that.
And that is this idea of primary doctrine. At TPUSA Faith, we talk about it all the time, and you might even hear more about it tonight. Basically, this idea that there are certain things that unify us together. As a Christian, it's the lordship of Jesus. It's a Trinity. It's heaven and hell. It's the depravity of man. It's the fact that Christ is one day going to come back and rescue all of us.
There it is. There it is. Yep. You gotta include that 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks Jesus is gonna be here. Come on, 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks, and if everybody gets their jabs, everybody can return back to a normal life. 2 more weeks, 2 more weeks, 2 more weeks.
And save us from ourselves.
Save us from ourselves. Yeah, because you have no self-control, no discipline without your Christian God. Whereas pagans, we call each other out. And our gods, you know, they will call us out in their own way. If we do shitty things in life, they will punish us. But we don't necessarily need to be policed by Christianity. You don't need to be Christian to be a moral person at all.
And if somebody violates those ideas, we have a right to be able to say, don't teach false doctrines in this church any longer, because that's against God. You don't know what you're talking about.
The Christians always going after each other is hilarious, because I've been told by so many Christians in person and online, you need to, convert to Christianity. And then I respond to them, okay, which type of Christianity? And I get varying responses, and I say, well, how do you know that yours is correct? And, they go in a roundabout, all of them do, roundabout reasoning why theirs is the correct form of Christianity, but in the end, they all sound the same, except for Mormonism. Mormonism is a bit weird, but I do consider them Christians just because if you're worshiping Jesus, you're a Christian. That's what I boil it down to. But with these Christians, they'll say, when I bring up how Christians have treated me, they will say, oh, well, those weren't real Christians. Well, y'all can't agree on what what is a real Christian anyway? I could bring up some of these people were Baptists. I can bring up some of these people were evangelical. Some of these people were Orthodox. Some of these people were Catholics, you know, and if you're just going to argue with each other about who's actually Christian, well, then Christianity doesn't exist at the end of the day, because y'all are all going to be arguing with each other. And if Christianity doesn't exist at the end of the day, then why should I follow your God? You know, you need to at least acknowledge that there's different denominations, and I can kind of see where he's coming from on this fact that, you know, he's trying to get everybody on the same page with denominations, and you're never going to do that. Good luck with that, buddy. But let's take a look at these comments. Jesus is coming, trust the plan. Yeah, this guy sounds like my father too, all snooty and preachy. Exactly. When you see evil, call it out. Yes, yes, the Havamal. Let's see here. I just found out that Mormons believe in Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother. Kind of sounds like Wicca. Yeah, there's some like occult aspects within Mormonism that's kind of funny. I don't really know too much about it. My husband's actually a better source of information on it, because he did a deep dive into Mormonism. Yeah, but yes, they are all insufferable. Yes, exactly. But yeah, I'm pretty much a hard polytheist, and I know that there's some Wiccans that view all gods as being you know, the Lord, and then all goddesses as being the lady. But you know, even when I was Wiccan for a period, I was still a hard polytheist, because I just knew too much to you know, not lump all the gods together. It's just like I've learned too much where I can't just do that thinking anymore.
Those are salvific issues. And it also allows us to say, you know what, although I might disagree with you on a whole lot of secondary issues, once saved, always saved versus losing your salvation, women in ministry versus not women in ministry, speaking in tongues versus not speaking in tongues.
The speaking in tongues thing.
That we can still be unified because we agree on the primary, even though we disagree on the secondary.
Alrighty. I think this is the last one, yes. Alrighty.
And we have to decide if we're going to allow people to tear us apart, or if we're going to find unity together and refuse to separate from one another, assuming that we stay within primary doctrine. What is the primary doctrine of the conservative movement? Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, freedom of speech. It's things like free market, limited government. These are things...
Limited government, but you really want a Christian theocracy. That's not limited government at all.
That we can agree upon. This is what makes AmFest the best stage in the entire world, is because it gives us a place to be able to wrestle through these things. But when we leave here tomorrow afternoon, you better leave here united. And the only way to do that, I believe, is to walk in Christ.
Like I was just saying, they all do the walk in Christ thing, but then one of them figures out, oh, you're a Catholic, oh, you're an Orthodox, oh, you're evangelical. Yeah, exactly. And then they all start infighting. And I'm just picturing the entire crowd. I'm sure the chairs are bolted to the floor, but just throwing the chairs at each other.
Charlie's book is about the Sabbath. In Hebrews 4, it talks about
the Sabbath. Oh yeah, I forgot to bring up Erika Kirk on TV going Shabbat Shalom. Yeah, what are these Christians trying to do now? Are they trying to take off Saturday and Sunday? I think what they're trying, you know, they want basically what they're saying is, when you take off both Saturday and Sunday for, you know, every weekend, but then they're going to go into places of business and they're going to demand service, and then they're going to treat the service workers, retail, or, you know, pharmacies, or restaurants, they're going to treat them like shit. And this is what Christians do. And they will actually call you out for working on Sunday. I was there in retail being called out for this. Okay. So, this means that they want to take off extra time, but then they throw a hissy fit if you ask for time off for any of the pagan celebrations on the wheel of the year. If you want to take off for the full moon, if you want to take off for Yule, if you want to take off for Samhain. Oh, it's funny, with Samhain, you get these non-religious people wanting to take off Samhain, and you being a pagan, you know, you don't get first place in that at all. That's not even considered. But if a Christian wants to take off Sunday, oh, yes, of course. Take off Sunday. Or if a Muslim wants to schedule off time off for Ramadan, okay, yeah, sure. But a pagan? No. BS.
Jesus is our Sabbath day rest. See, I believe that we have something that the world doesn't understand, and that is peace. And when you actually walk in peace and you realize that as much as I want this world around me to be beautiful, as much as I want a utopia, as much as I want to fix everything and just put it all together and have it just be perfect, the Bible teaches us is that until Christ is involved in that process, that can never happen. And what I hope we can at least walk in, at least for this night, is that you would join with me in opening up your heart to the Word of God, opening up your spirit to the Word of God and the Spirit of God.
Don't do it, it's a trap. In the words of Admiral Akbar, it's a trap.
And that as my friends come out here tonight, my team shows up here tonight, that it would be like the whispers of Elihu that would make way.
Right, exactly. Define peace. Christians aren't good at that. They're not. They don't understand peace. Well, since you're a Star Wars fan, you're familiar with the Sith code of peace is a lie.
For God to change our hearts, to change AmFest, to change the conservative movement, and ultimately to touch and transform our nation.
Yes, open up your wallet, open up your heart to Jesus, and then open up your wallet. Yeah, your pastor needs a new Bentley. But yes, exactly. The entire the entire BS of it all, of this entire AmFest, TPUSA for my bunghole fest. Oh my gosh. Yes, peace is a lie. There is only passion. Yes. If Christianity started embracing the Sith code, I doubt it. Every time I would go to church, the people would seem so fake. Like they act nice to you, but they don't want you to be there. Exactly. Right, exactly. Yeah, you're not in their clique, you're not in their club, you don't know somebody in there, and even if you do, you gotta basically simp your way up the social ladder, especially with women. They're like that. I think it's a little easier for men, but for women, yeah, women are very catty and vindictive in the church, especially. It brings out the worst in women. I keep on saying that Christianity and all the Abrahamic faiths bring out the absolute worst behavior in women. TP for Pastor Beavis, exactly. I need to make a meme or something, use a little bit of AI for once, and make a Beavis pastor on the TP USA stage. And you noticed in the videos even behind Pastor Lucas Miles, they had the star, the pentagram behind him expanding and contracting the entire time. I thought that was rather ironic. This big, pagan symbol, and I know some people are gonna say, "Oh, well, it has roots in Judaism." No, the pentagram is much older. I mean, you could see it in motifs, the star motifs in Egyptian tombs for the sky ceiling. But yes, through passion I gain strength. Do we got a bunch of Star Wars fans in the chat? That's great. I'm kind of half planning this for May the 4th. I'm going to do paganism of Star Wars at some point. Because I've got a lot to talk about when it comes to that. And especially also the paganism of Lord of the Rings as well. It's another one of my fandoms. Because I kind of view, even though Tolkien was, they say, a devout Catholic, his writings, if you've read the Poetic Edda and the Prose Edda, and then read the Silmarillion afterwards, it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's the same, but it's very, very similar. And just, it just flows, it kind of feels like you're reading continuation of one of the other. Yes. Let's see here. Star Trek. Oh, my husband, he's a big Star Trek fan. He's not too much into Star Wars, so unfortunately, we kind of have that disconnect, but, yeah, he's a big Star Trek fan. Let's see if there's any comments I missed. Oh, they do not like beauty or things getting better. Oh, yes, exactly. They don't like beauty. $700 Club. Walk like you're in Jesus. Oh boy, yeah, exactly. Yeah, remember the wars between Catholics and Protestants. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it wasn't that long ago either, and they're still kind of going at it just in the comments sections now, especially on Facebook and X. I see them going after each other all the time. You have to walk in Christ and eat the cracker. That is the body of Christ calls Jesus. I don't get the whole speaking in tongues thing. I just don't. No, and it's like kind of the whole mimicking of demonic possession. And it's kind of crazy. And it's like, oh, you're possessed by the Holy Spirit, so you're going to talk in tongues. No, it's an act. At worst, it's hypnosis. I was into Wicca until I learned more about Germanic and Celtic paganism. Yeah, I say I don't have a problem with Wicca, but like 9 out of 10 Wiccans will just move on to another form of paganism after like the first year or a couple of years, because and then they start to get, more into it, which is good. You have a similar background to a lot of other pagans that, left Christianity, found Wicca first, but then went into another form of paganism, which is all good. And then like the last of them, that 1 out of 10, they'll stay in Wicca, and be really into Wicca, which is just fine. I don't mind that. And there's some very very intelligent Wiccans. They're not all the fluffy bunnies that you see online. The first year Wiccans, yeah. Right, yeah, Tolkien was an avid Catholic, and he converted for his wife, because I think she was Catholic. But that kind of gets in the whole Baron and Luthien story, and they actually have that on their tombstone, which is, very romantic. Oh, look up the Hyborian research about his interpretation of Star Wars. It's very compelling. Yeah. Why don't you give the Slavs any love? I need to get into Slavic paganism. I have been neglecting it. Unfortunately, I need to start researching Slavic paganism, and then, research more into Greek, Hellenic paganism as well. That's another path that's interesting, just to, kind of dip my feet into, because, I'm very familiar with Norse paganism, Egyptian paganism, somewhat familiar with Celtic paganism, and then I'm somewhat familiar with Greek paganism, read the Iliad and the Odyssey, but need to get deeper into that. But then, the Slavic paganism is very interesting. Because Star Wars is real. Star Wars is life. Exactly. I mean, you can look at some of the stuff put out by Disney. Some of it's really bad, and some of them it's like really good. Like Andor was freaking fantastic, and I'm really excited for Maul Shadow Lord coming out next year. That should be incredible. I don't mind Wicca, but for me it seemed like it blended Germanic and Celtic themes. Yeah, it did. It blends that, and then it blends some ceremonial magic. Okay, and I can see where that comes from. But then ceremonial magic, you can pull it all the way back to ancient Egypt, and the way that they did their rituals, which was preserved. Okay, but I could see where they were coming from on some of their rituals. And then, there's some arguments about Wicca being a form of paganism or not, but I consider it pagan. As long as you're worshiping pagan gods, and you're worshiping multiple gods, you're pagan to me. I'm not gonna, have a big hoorah about that. C.S. Lewis was an atheist who became Christian, and I'm convinced that's why he made the White Witch the villain in the Narnia series. Yeah, exactly. I never really gotten the whole Narnia thing. Yeah, because I was very much, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. And then because I started studying paganism really early before I actually became pagan, and I was studying Egyptian paganism first, and I was always finding different things within these stories that reminded me of traditional pagan stories. It wasn't all just, Tolkien's works are all Christian. Well, no, the way the world was formed in the Tolkien universe, the music of the Einar, it really, and then the chaos of Morgoth that he brought to it really sounded a lot like Egyptian mythology in certain aspects. Don't use it too hard, you might get a hemorrhoid. Right. Yeah, it's great that we all have a, mature pagan talks, but then we have a little bit of potty humor. That's what makes it lovely. The 42 negative confessions I looked up failed 19. Am I screwed? Well, no, just, as long as you're not continuing to break them all the time. And remember, 9 out of those 42 confessions are about theft. Have you seen the Northwoods Kindred channel? It's a husband and wife, heathen couple, and they did some good reaction to Pay and Threat. I feel like I've seen them before. A while back. I didn't see their review on Pagan Threat, although it's probably going to pop up for me now that you brought it up, because I'm seeing a lot of people's other other people's reviews on Pagan Threat. Yeah. I'm an angry boy. Well, yeah. But did everybody have a great solstice? I did. My husband and I, we opened gifts, you know, with our son, and then we went on a kind of drove around and looked at the Christmas lights and all that, got milkshakes for the family. It was a very good time, and yeah, it's always it's nice that for us that we celebrate on the solstice instead of on Christmas Day. The kids get presents a couple of days early. Oh, be careful. Any books claiming to be of Slavic sources should be vetted. Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing that with getting into other pantheons, I do quite a bit of research to make sure I'm getting historically accurate information, or just mythologically accurate. Because, you know, if you pick up a book and it's published by Llewellyn, no matter what time period, within Llewellyn's whole publishing history, you could get a lot of BS. You know, one of the exceptions is Freya Aswynn's book, was published by Llewellyn. It is a great source and accurate, but I can't say that for everything that Llewellyn has published. But yeah, I usually try to stick with historical sources as much as I can, you know, published by historians when researching mythology, because I'm a big stickler on that. And I'm not sure if some of you saw my post earlier on X where I found this one guy on Instagram. He had a statue of Ra, the Egyptian god Ra, the sun god, and he has a solar disk on his head. And he was starting to yap about, oh, this is Horus and blah, blah, blah. No, that's not Horus. And I got in an argument with him, and he was just being a complete asshole, head in the sand, had no idea the difference between Horus and Ra. And it's just, when you get something that historically, you know, that basic fact, if you get it wrong, you're going to look like a complete idiot. So I always try to stick with historically accurate sources. But if you don't know, confusing Horus with Ra, they're both falcon heads, you know, falcon-headed gods, but they have different, you know, hats on pretty much. It's like confusing Odin with Tyr, which is absolutely ridiculous if you know the basics. But there are people that are that dumb out there. And then there are people that are that dumb to confuse Ra with Horus. So that's what I was dealing with. Let's see here. Oh, yes, he would be celebrating Hanukkah, yes. The Christmas inflatables. Yeah, I haven't seen any Jesuses on the lawns lately. Yes, Horus is the falcon god, but so is Ra, and they're both associated with falcons. But, you know, with Egyptian paganism, if you look on their head, it'll tell you what type of god that they are, what they rule over, what they're associated with, you know, even in like an animal form. Sometimes they'll have a solar disk, or a crown on their head, the double crown that you see on Horus's head when he's in the falcon form. There's that one famous statue at the Temple of Edfu in Egypt. And by the way, I just want to say, Ben Shapiro, his whole thing, you know, he's for the Greater Israel Project, and the Greater Israel Project would bring Israel into East Egypt along the Nile, and that would put a lot of those Egyptian temples into threat, and that's absolutely horrible. You were arguing with a wall. Yes, exactly. But yes, Horus and Ra are both falcon-headed gods, and the uninitiated will confuse them both. But yeah, you just gotta look at the head. If it's got a solar disk, looks like a big sun, that's Ra. You mean Stargate lied to us? Gosh, I was pointing out earlier in that comment section that about the second Mummy movie where they said Anubis was the god of darkness, and it's just like, no, he's the god of mummification. And when that movie came out, 2001, I was holding my breath in the theater, trying not to say anything, because it just bugged the shit out of me. You know, they confuse Set with Anubis all the time, and Set has this kind of like funny nose, and some historians are like, he could be a donkey, he could be an anteater, or he could be this animal that's just like an amalgamation of different animals, and he's just some sort of mythological creature, because you see him in an animal form Set, and he's got like a long tail, and it's like forked at the end, kind of like a snake's tongue, but Set's associated with the desert, with war, with foreigners, with necessary chaos. So perhaps something better would be to put would be the army of Set. But I understand Anubis looks cool. Anubis is a jackal, and the way that they pulled off the army of Anubis in the second Mummy movie was, they looked really cool. Where they kind of like poured out like water, and then they just formed from this black water. It was really cool. But that's actually mythological. The Sea of Noon, which is, you know, kind of like a black ocean. But let's see here. Any good beginner pagan books you can recommend? New to paganism in general, I would start just researching various pantheons, even online. See which one is appealing the most to you, and then go from there. And look up historical sources. But yeah, you could keep it simple at first, and then you could branch off into something more complicated. Yes, the Eddas. The prose Edda is a little easier than the poetic Edda. Let's see here. Sometimes I confuse Santa with Odin. Well, that's okay. That's okay. Let's see here. Oh, did I ever get into Buddhism? No, I don't really have a problem with Buddhism. I was looking into Hinduism a couple of months ago, just to, you know, passing, just look into it. And the way that they worship is very similar to what the Egyptians did, but the Egyptians were more focused on purification before ritual. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Yeah, sometimes the poetic Edda can be a little strong for people to get into, especially if they're not used to reading something like that. And there are, like, you know, kind of easier to read variations. Yep, you got it. Yep, Set is the god of chaos. Also kind of necessary chaos. He causes that. He causes change, a bit like Loki. But Set also protects Ra occasionally on his sun barge, which, you know, against the Apep serpent, the actual, you know, the real chaos bringer, because he'll swallow Ra, and then, you know, everything's over at that point. Ra is the sun god, yes. Horus is the son of Isis and Osiris. Yes, Heru-Aset is his Egyptian name, because, you know, the names that you're using are all Greek names. We have to keep that in mind. And then the Egyptian names, some of them are the same. Like Set is the same, Ra is the same, Horus, it's Heru. Isis is Aset. Her name means throne. And Osiris is Weezer. Yeah, hail Hecate, hail Hades, yes. Set as the god of raw power rather than chaos. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is a god of war. His associated color is red. Whereas Horus' association is actually with black. It's very interesting. The Egyptians associated red with Set, and so you see a pharaoh like Seti, and you even see his mummified self, or I think it's his son, Ramses II, the most famous one. They're redheads. They were redheads. And let me see if I can actually pull that up. That'd be something fun for you guys. Images. Hold on. Or is it... Or I could have sworn. Maybe. Maybe not. But here, let me pull this up right quick. We're going to look at some mummies. Okay. So, Ramses II. You kind of tell there's some hair there, but he lived for a long time, and he had a lot of kids. Seti the first, which was his father. Yeah, the red hair. That's why they called him Seti. A bit of Egyptian history there for you. But yeah, let's. I want to get back to some of these comments. Would be interesting to hear the Egyptian names for the Greek gods. Well, the Greeks and the Egyptians, they did a lot of comparative mythology, which I always love. Even, you know, in ancient sources, where they compared certain gods, you know, like Jehuti, Thoth. They compared Thoth to Mercury. And, you know, so on. Hermes, rather. I want all beginners to be warned, or our ancestors did some atrocious stuff. More importantly, the Christian bias is enormous. Well, yeah, they did, but we've got if sometimes I think if paganism was never replaced by Christianity, a lot of the atrocious things that even the Christians continued doing, pagans would have stopped that sooner than the Christians would have. Let's see here. Yeah, chaos is not destruction, it's creative. It is what precedes order. Yes. Yeah, the chaos, because without chaos, order wouldn't exist. Therefore, you see the concept of Ma'at. She is cosmic order personified as a goddess, and she's also a concept. We was Kangs. Well, yeah, red-headed Egyptians. That's your sign. Yeah, but not like that red-headed pastor that we saw earlier. That was obviously on on something. They're running around the stage. That was something else. But yeah, if y'all have any more questions, I'll wait around for a moment. This has been a really good stream, by the way. That's why some believe that Loki in his role is a necessary element. yeah, he created chaos, and then it brought about change. And, you know, I can acknowledge that, but then, you know, my matron goddess is Frigga, and Loki was responsible for the death of Balder, which is Frigga's son. Oh, hi, Tina! Yeah, it was wild. The, yeah, went over TP, and I'm calling it TP for my bunghole, in reference to Beavis and Butthead. And yeah, that hilarity there, the TPUSA, their whole show, their song and dance was absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I watched your video earlier on the blank room. Fantastic. And I don't know if you've ever asked Freya Aswynn, about her experience with Ralph Bloom. She goes on a rant, and I don't even know if I have it recorded somewhere, but I'm sure if you ask her, she'll tell you about it. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, Loki was a scapegoat and brother of Odin, very misunderstood god. Oh. I haven't heard of his channel. Interviewed a former Mormon. Great interview. It sucks women still women is still Christian though. Yeah. Yeah, Freya will tell you, and it's a great story, and she agrees with you 100%. And that's, yeah, she actually shared your video earlier on Facebook, and that's where I saw it. And yeah, she'll tell you about it. My retelling of it won't do it justice. It has to be the Freya Aswynn flavor. And I think she has her autobiography coming out soon, and I will have to bring her on for a live stream at some point, and that'll be a lot of fun. Freya's always a hoot, and then she's full of esoteric knowledge that is just, she just channels. Inuit mythology, there's one goddess in the Inuit pantheon, I think her name is Senda, and what it talks about, her fingers were cut off, or she cut off her fingers, and they became the animals of the ocean, which is really interesting. And it's kind of creepy, but it's just like, that is absolutely fascinating. But yeah. Well, I think we've been here for almost an hour and a half, and I really appreciate you all for coming out, and it's been really fun this time around. Of course, last time was really fun too. But yeah, well, I know we're heading into holiday seasons. Everybody's going to be, you know, away and all that. But if anything else interesting happens, we'll have to take a look. Probably from frostbite. Exactly. Yeah. Freezing. Yeah, you lose your fingers. Yeah, but anyway, thank you all so much for coming by. And we will have to do this again real soon. Maybe if anything big happens, yes, of course, I will do a live. But yeah, I will keep you all posted. Yes, exactly. She's the poppy one, I think. Yeah. But anyway, we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.